Hello everyone and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 471. Today is Sunday, September 8th, 2024, and I'm glad you could join me today. I was thinking about recording yesterday, but then I was like, oh, I'll just finish this row little podcast. And then as I was coming on the home stretch, I saw that I had accidentally started knitting the wrong direction, and so then I ended up ripping back 4/3 of a row to go back and fix that. So, oh well, whatever. Don't would it be? It's a bit of a glum day here today in China, so I feel like there was like a little bit of a break in the rain, but we are now back to whatever, being in the clouds. So this is my final weekend of my work trip. Totally blew my mind to record. Totally forgot to record last week, but I think that's probably fine. What was it? I probably have quite a bit more knitting progress to show because I ended up waiting a week. So works out. Yeah, quite a bit more. And would be not too much craziness on the knitting front. So I did not bring my shawl with me on my trip because there's no point in bringing a chunky weight shawl and carrying it around when it's like 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That's fine. I did bring my blood green shawl with me because I figured it was nice and light, and then didn't think about the fact that bright red shawl wasn't really going to coordinate with most of the t-shirts I ended up bringing. But I guess I'm wearing it at least once, so that's fine. And what it be? So I did end up finishing it that night. Like, I was really I was to the level of yarn usage where it was basically time to bind off when I showed it on the last podcast. So we can share that later. That'll be fine. Would it be? And maybe that might be different sort of chaotic, but it'll be fine. So what would it be? So 4 more days left of this trip, and then I'll be heading home. And then I get to have the hilarious thing of arriving, or I'll be leaving 10:30 p.m. Wednesday and getting back at 8:10 p.m. Wednesday. Thanks, International Dateline. So I'll have to figure out what my game plan for the flight is. It's probably gonna be sleep for the first half and be awake for the second half, if I'm to take a guess. So finish the row. Not sure what I'm gonna do for my next row, but that's fine. Yeah, that's about right. Okay. So I am now on to the front of my Piper sweater. So this is a Carol Sunday pattern that I'm knitting out of Harrisville Designs Flywheel. Definitely had like a lot of like false starts with the short rows, at the beginning, but I think we are getting to be in like a good place. So I'm working on the armhole shaping. Next row, it may not be this row, but the next row will like really get to like the full width of the sweater. Set in sleeves. Front is definitely much lower than the back. It's eventually getting an I-cord treatment. But I have finished the front shirt. So should be cute. And then all the front and back are a little bit different, but they are patterned on both sides. So here is my completed back. I don't know whether or not, whatever, the short rows are pretty subtle on this one. I was doing them wrong. It became clear when I was knitting the front that I didn't quite do it right, but I don't think it's enough that it's worth redoing. But you can see the lovely cable. I have my split hem edge detail. Like, it honestly looks like the split hem is much longer in the actual sweater. And then I ended up making this like a more typical 18 inches from underarm instead of like the called for 17, because that's the sweater length that I prefer. So just, what do we, I think front is pretty similar size to the back there, so should be good. So at this point, like, I'm pretty close to being, I don't know, looking at the size of that panel, it feels like I have quite a lot more to go. Let's see. It's like match up point to point. Yeah, there's still quite a bit of knitting to go, but definitely decent progress for sure. So it's coming together, and then there'll be some finishing work that needs to be done, but I was just so excited about getting at least one section done, and then sort of comparing. You sort of have a partial cable and then 3 full ones, and there'll maybe 2 full ones in the front. So not too bad, coming along. So we'll certainly have some extra yarn at the end for sure. I don't know whether or not we have like a mixture of natural light and unnatural light right now because it was sort of dim in the room, but yeah, I don't know whether or not you'll be able to really see how it's looking, but in that regard, recruiting, or would it be, whatever. There are limits to how much I'm willing to move hotel furniture around to do this. So, coming along for sure. So, finished the back piece last week-ish, I think. And then got decent progress on the front piece, like definitely early week. So it'd be the case where on this particular visit, I'm going to 2 different factories, and so there tends to be like about like an hour ride back and forth to the factory every day. And so at least some of that is like good time to knit. I don't tend to do the email checking on the ride-in. And also I think it's because like it's probably like swapped, so it'd be the case where my mornings in Asia are spent talking with California. And then afternoons are a time to catch up on email and figure out what's going on. So, not too crazy. All right, next one. Right next to me. Not too bad. So, the next thing that got quite a bit of progress on it is this sock. This has probably gotten more progress than anything else. So this is Mustache Yarns in the Dark Father colorway. So this is based on Anakin Skywalker. So you have both the blue lightsaber and the red lightsaber of Darth Vader. I was working on this stripe. I was somewhere around here when I got onto my international flight, and I was able to do the heel flap and pick up stitches, and then the rest of the foot has been done sort of between the couple of different cities I've been visiting. What would it be? Like, it does, like, on one hand, like, it doesn't feel like knitting with teeny yarn and needles like feels super duper great on my hands right now. What would it be? Like stretches and stuff that I need to do. So like maybe I shouldn't be working on this as much, but it's definitely a very convenient project to have going around. And then in order to maintain the stripe sequence, I pulled from the other end of the ball for the heel flap, and it like turned out to be pretty coordinating, pretty nicely coordinating. So then I'll do the similar thing with the other sock, is I'll knit until I get to this lighter gray stripe. Then I'll put in the heel flap, and hopefully there's enough yarn. Like I feel like maybe there's like a little bit, like it can be like a little bit deceptive, but we can probably take a quick measure right now. That's fine. So the pattern that I'm knitting is just ribbing. And like interestingly enough, this one has both shoe sizes and so it has both. Okay. Interesting. So it has both shoe sizes and lengths on it. And so it would be the case where does that end up working out? It's pretty close. Whatever. Basically, I have to knit like pretty much like the length of the ruler for the final sock. Not that I'm like too worried about that, but it does feel like I do still have like a pretty long way to go. So for my socks, I would knit until like the 7-inch mark before starting the heel, and I'm like probably somewhere between 5 1/4 and 5 1/2 inches right now. But these are for a friend who has basically the same feet, so I do have to knit up to 9. And then looking at the sock ruler, that seems to be pretty consistent. But not true. Yeah. So it seems like it's matching up with the measurements I do for myself. And then what is it? So then knit to a point, and then end up doing probably like a round-ish toe. So that would be, you end up doing half the decreases every other row and the other half of the decreases every row. So should be good, but it does seem like I have a lot of sock to go. Did I end up accidentally making the cuff too long? We'll see. Like, I don't know. Also, I brought my scale with me. Maybe that was like medium level shady because it's definitely a drug scale. Maybe that wasn't a good choice. So maybe that wasn't a good choice, but I hadn't replaced the batteries, and so it's not really working long enough to even get like a good measurement on it. And when I replace the batteries, we'll have to recal the scale. But I did check with the Dear Sweet Lovable one, and he does in fact have all of the things required in order to recalibrate a scale on the fly. So I will have to take care of that soon. It's fine. So, what would it be? I'm like a little bit scatterbrained this morning, but whatever. So because I didn't do that, now I just have like a non-functioning drug scale. As you do. So we'll get it figured out. So that is all of the knitting progress. I did bring yarn with me to start 2 other projects, but like at the end of the day, like it does feel like the amount of knitting that I've brought is ample, and that sort of is like a 2-part thing basically, which is because of some of like the carpal tunnel issues that I've been facing, definitely has been like a bit less knitting, and then trying to figure out what actually works and what feels nice and that sort of thing. And I think especially because of like the hot, humid weather in all of the cities that I visited so far, that doesn't seem to be helping either. So it may be the case where my game plan for today is, what do I'll have to figure out what I want to do exactly, but I think I need to go to the mall next door and figure out if they have a store that sells a swim cap, so I can just hang out floating in the pool for a while. and then additionally figure out if anyone wants to hang out today. So my hotel is like, I don't know, like less than a kilometer away from the hotel where most of the people I know are staying. I decided to stay at the hotel that starts at the 75th floor and goes to the 100th, which has been interesting because pretty much we've been living in a cloud this whole time, because of all the rain and fun and that sort of thing. So I've been living in a cloud. What is it? So it'd be the case where it's sort of like through a series of underground tunnels, because like the surface traffic is crazy here. I can get from my hotel to the other hotels. So it seems like the other hotel is connected to a much more luxurious mall than mine is. But who knows? I might end up walking around. I don't know. Like it'd be the case where, what would it be if it's not shopping for yarn? But I might need to wander around and and figure out if they have like a sports store of some sort so that I can more easily go to the pool. Because my hotel has an indoor pool, and it's expected in Asia that you have a swim cap, because indoor pools are mostly intended for lap swimming. I'm not swimming laps, I'm just staying out of the way and floating. Which has been good. My first weekend I ended up getting quite sunburned. And sadly the outdoor pool was not open for hours. Or they weren't open early enough in the morning that could miss the hot sun, but oh well, it's better now. I don't think there's any chance of getting sunburned here, so not with this weather. So I'll have to figure out if there's any other adventures I want to do, but some of it might just be like chilling, and that's fine. So would it be? So things are looking good for another podcast in 2 weeks, and I think everything should be very chill and quiet for the next couple of months. So looking forward to that for sure. Yeah, it's good. So it will be, or we're definitely in the part of the trip where it'd be very lovely to be home, but I'm also don't mind being able to sleep in and not have to decide what I'm eating for dinner days in advance. And I have figured out who the right concierge is to talk to about food ideas, so that's good. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. What it'll be, and we'll see. Whatever. I just have to laugh at how much knitting I ended up bringing versus how much knitting I actually needed, but it's fine. It'll all work out. So, with that, I hope you guys have a lovely week, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. So, take care, guys. Bye-bye.